This is UMAR AHMED for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm joined on Zoom by Mr. Bob Arum. Bob, just get straight into it. Dillian Whyte, Alexander Povetkin. Dillian was in complete control, it looked like, and then Alexander pulled out a great knockout. Just your reaction, firstly, Bob, please.
My reaction was that Dillian Whyte got what he deserved. I was reading for the last couple of weeks over here statements that Dillian Whyte was making, how he would do this to Tyson Fury and that to Tyson Fury. Povetkin, and because he sure as hell didn't see Povetkin's uppercut that knocked him cold.
Obviously, this has implications for your guy, Tyson Fury. What have you been told by the WBC prior to this? And we also know Povetkin, Whyte, there'll probably be a rematch. How do you think this will affect Fury and the whole WBC situation, Bob?
Well, I think, Whyte has eliminated himself as the mandatory. I'm going to tell my guy, Tyson Fury, don't overlook Deontay Wilder, because you don't overlook a guy who can punch like Wilder. And hopefully he gets through. And I hope that Eddie Hearn tells the same thing to Anthony Joshua, because if Joshua is going to focus on Tyson Fury and forget that he's fighting Kubrat Pulev, he's also going to get knocked on his ass. I mean, these are heavyweights. They go into a fight, they can't be looking ahead to a future fight. They got to concentrate completely on the fight that they're having. So Dillian Whyte got what he deserved. The horrible things he was saying about Tyson Fury, how he was pestering the BC about his mandatory position, trying to break up a potential Fury-Joshua fight down the road. Eddie Hearn, of course, flapping his mouth didn't help. But, the WBC held their ground. I mean, held their firepower, because they knew that Whyte was in a difficult fight with a tried and true professional like Povetkin, and they waited to see what would happen after that fight. So, again, if Kubrat Pulev doesn't beat Joshua, which I believe he will, but if he doesn't, and Joshua wins, and Tyson Fury is able to again face Wilder and beat Wilder, then we can look forward without any kind of obstacles to a Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight, which is obviously the biggest heavyweight match of our time. So again, but neither guy, neither Fury nor Joshua, should be a lesson to both of them. Don't look ahead to a future opponent. Concentrate on the guy that you're fighting.
Were you surprised tonight what happened in there, Bob?
They're heavyweights, man. They're heavyweights, and they punch well. And Povetkin always punched well. He didn't have the greatest chin in the world. He doesn't have the greatest stamina in the world, but he is a tried and true professional. And if you let your guard down and you become overconfident, you're going to get knocked out like Dillian Whyte got knocked out. You're not dealing with little bantamweights. You're dealing with big, super heavyweights.
Have you heard anything from Eddie and Bob about Joshua Pulev on a location and a date?
Well, Eddie, again, Eddie says that he is waiting to see when in the UK he'll be able to do a fight with spectators, limited or not, because a gate for a Joshua Pulev fight would be substantial, and then there'd be the pay-per-view and the rights fee from the United States. So, there's a lot of money out there for a Joshua Pulev fight, and hopefully Eddie will be able to put it on in the UK for an audience. And if not, he's going to have to do it, and we'll all have to do it without an audience. Pulev is my fighter. I mean, I promote him. And if we can't do it with an audience, we're just going to have to push forward. But I'm hopeful that the UK looks like it's getting the COVID under control. And I think there's a good possibility that Eddie will be allowed to do an event with limited spectators sometime in December.
On the fight itself as well, I think the UK fans now are going to be definitely more wary of Pulev when he's in there with Joshua, considering what's happened tonight.
It's a lesson for everybody, for all fans, because Dillian Whyte did nobody any favors talking about Tyson Fury fighting Tyson Fury when he was fighting Povetkin. I think Matchroom was selling the fight on Sky on pay-per-view, and I think the numbers are not very good because you don't promote a fight talking about fighting the next guy. You promote a fight talking about fighting the guy who's in front of you.
Bob, you made some comments recently that you're looking at potentially doing Fury Wilder 3 in February. How confident are you that fight happens before the end of this year?
I'm more confident than I have been. We are working with Nevada, the governor, who's a terrific guy, Steve Sisolak, and with the casinos and with the convention authority. We have a beautiful new stadium in Las Vegas where the Raiders, the football team, will play. And we believe by December, we can put in this stadium, which holds for a boxing match 85,000 people, or 75 to 85,000 people. Do it for 15 or 20,000 with safe seating and social distancing and everybody wearing masks, and have the casinos purchase the tickets to that event on a premier kind of basis, and we'll push ahead that way. So I'm much more optimistic that we're going to go on December 19th than I was before. But again, just like anybody who relies on the science like I do, we have to realize we don't control this coronavirus. We have no control over it. But I hope that things will be under control so we will be allowed to do this fight, the Fury Wilder fight, with an attendance with fans. But again, if we had to push forward without spectators, it would be hard. But we would talk to the fighters about it. So again, we looked at February because we have a pretty good offer outside of the United States to do that fight in February. So again, the fighters get most of the money. They're on percentage, both Wilder and Tyson, and we'll leave it up to them. If I can't go December 19th, I believe I can. I will be able to. But if I can't, or I can only do it with no spectators, I would ask the fighters, do you want to wait 6 weeks or so? And we'd have a big site fee to make up for the gate.
One more thing, Bob, before I let you go. It looks like Floyd Mayweather Jr. will be assisting Deontay Wilder in preparation for the Fury trilogy. What do you think about that, Bob?
For who?
Yeah, it looks like Floyd may be assisting Deontay Wilder.
Well, if that's so, I mean, we promoted Floyd for more than 10 years, and I don't think there's anyone, any boxer that I remember recently that has the knowledge of the sport the way Floyd does. I mean, he really understands boxing from a technical standpoint, so it can only help Tyson Fury. But I haven't heard that Floyd would be involved in the training. I just don't know. I mean, the Sugar Hill was Stewart was a terrific trainer and is a terrific trainer. So I don't know why Tyson would make that switch.
No, Bob, I'm saying Floyd and Deontay Wilder. It looks like are linking up.
Oh well,
Yeah.
then that will help Deontay Wilder. Oh, I understand. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Much more sense. Yeah, Floyd is really a genius when it comes to boxing. I mean that sincerely. I mean, I know for a fact that very few people know the technical aspects of boxing the way Floyd does. And I understand from the kids that he's been training that he's a very good teacher. So I think Deontay Wilder will only benefit by being trained or being advised by Floyd Mayweather.
Okay, Bob. Well, I just wanted a reaction to tonight's events and a quick update on Joshua Pulev and Fury Wilder trilogy. Look forward to both those heavyweight clashes happening before the end of the year, hopefully, and I'm sure we'll catch up
next year we'll move to the. I mean, if the stars align, and I really give Pulev a hell of a shot with Joshua. I really do. I mean, a tough guy and takes a good punch, but we'll see. So if they both come through, if both Brits come through, then it'd certainly be the biggest fight in the history of the UK, without any question.
Maybe the biggest sporting event the UK has ever seen, to be fair, Bob.
Well, I remember, go back to the old Muhammad Ali days when England won the World Cup over Germany, when Ali was fighting over there. I remember that. I mean, that was a massive event.
Well, yeah, Frank Warren said since 1966, England, Germany, that Fury Joshua would be the biggest event.
Well, I'm glad Frank realized. It was 1966. You're quite correct. That was that was massive. But this will also be a huge, huge event.
Okay, Bob, thanks for your time, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon, all right? Thank you.
Thank you.